Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Barry Collier.
And your contact information, phone number?
614-216-8943. I live at 3422 Tivoli Court, Columbus, Ohio, 43230.
Great. And tell me your story.
All right, I've lived in this district for 8 to 9 years and voted in nearly every election. Now, this last year they switched the voting area from a firehouse over to here, and I voted here during the primary with no problem. Well, I came in today and I had proof of address along with my driver's license, and the paper said that I wasn't allowed to sign the sheet and I must submit a provisional ballot, because apparently the Board of Elections has been sending mail to me that's been getting returned. And I have an example of a letter from the Board of Elections that was sent to my house and not returned. Now, what I suspect happened was about a year and a half ago, I had a problem with my mail delivery service. The mail piled up and the mailman decided that he was going to make a point, so he put a little slip saying I didn't live there anymore. So I resolved that with the post office. This has been a year and a half ago. And upon resolving that, I noticed that I was getting half of my mail. My electric bill would come, but my car payment bill would not. After calling Toyota Financial Services 3 months in a row and having them a little upset that I kept calling them, I called the post office. They said everything is okay. So I spoke with my mailman as he came out, and he said everything was okay until I showed him a letter from the Board of Elections stating that according to their records, that I wasn't living there. So needless to say, and this was around September, I called the Board of Elections and they said that everything was legitimate. The post office has resolved the issue. However, when I came here to vote today, apparently they claim that some mail has not been getting returned that they've sent to me, even though I have this, an invite to vote by mail that did get, received by myself. Last week I checked the website twice just to make sure I was eligible to vote, because I wanted to make sure everything was cleared up. And I would also comment that this all happened, the incident with the mail, before the primary, and I voted at this location for the primary without incident. This is a new situation. And so I would like to not use a provisional ballot, because I want this to be counted as quickly as possible so the election is more decisive. And I understand in some cases provisional ballots aren't counted. So I definitely would like to do my part and wait here as long as possible to see if I can vote via machine.
How did you feel when they told you that you were pre-marked and you had to vote provisional?
Shocked, surprised, and perhaps a bit disenfranchised.
And what time did you get here today?
5:45.
And did you vote at this location in 2004, or was it at the fire?
No, it was at the fire station. I voted at this location for the primaries.
Okay. Can I get can I see that letter? I just want to get a close-up of it, if you don't mind. Have you heard of what's called a caging letter? It's a similar thing where they...
Yes, and that's what made me very suspicious of the provisional situation, because I remember 2004 and 2000, and that's not going to happen to my vote if I can prevent it.
All right, great. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, except that when I did call the elections office a year ago about the post office situation, I used the specific word caging. I asked the lady, I'm not being caged, am I? And she says, no. Everything is fine.
Wow. All right, great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And we can't track him down. Go ahead.
There was an additional gentleman who had the very same situation, who believed he was registered to vote and was marked down as a provisional ballot only.
And
an older African-American gentleman.
What kind of area is this, generally speaking?
Politically?
Yeah.
I would call it conservative, actually. There are considerably more Republican supporters than Democrats here.
Are you registered independent or Democrat?
Democrat.
Do you know what the other guy was registered?
No, I'm very cautious about talking politics in a polling place, so I didn't want to ask and, in any way disqualify myself further.
Fair enough. Okay, great.
And your name no longer is in the poll book.
It is in the book.
It's in the book?
My name, my address, there's just a little mark. He is not permitted to sign. He must vote by provisional ballot. Go through the line, and you can film that if you like. I don't know if you're permitted to, but we can go.
Pass there because I'm not an observer for this location.
Right. But yes, absolutely. My name and my address are in the book. But
and what did the presiding judge, what did he say?
He said, well, I'll call my superiors. I don't think they're going to do much. And there was one lady, the lady that got me in touch with you guys, who was extremely helpful. And came back and said, well, you're going to have to vote provisional. There's nothing we can do. And I had really resigned myself to that. So Connie called me back and advised that I think my opinion. For this historic election, I think that I want this to be a decisive victory. I don't want them to argue over it because they're doing the whole acorn thing, which is voter intimidation and rumor mongering. The whole
So, how did they end up with you? You talked to that guy and he said, well, you just have to vote provisionally.
Yeah, and then the lady who was helping, she's around here somewhere. She has a gray.
Did they
there
ever
she
let
is, right over there? She gave me 2 numbers, and I called one, and the gentleman was very rude. He says, you're telling me a big long story here. Just answer my questions. I guess, sir, I will. Just answer my questions and don't tell me. Sir, I will. And then he just basically said I was SOL. And then she called up Connie. Connie got a hold of you and advised me to dig my heels in.
Will they let you? Oh, you did talk to the supervisor.
I would keep pressing the presiding judge as much as in the poll workers.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So, I mean, if there's no viable explanation.
The other gentleman had the exact same situation.
So next to your name in the book,
it says my name, it has my signature, my address, and then in the box where you sign, my current address that matches this bill and matches my driver's license.
This is your mail-in.
Yeah, and that was the reason that they gave. They had a little code and it said that they had mail that was returned from the Board of Elections. And
this is your current address.
That's my current address. Same address as this. Same address as what's on my driver's license.
The observer is this woman right here, right? With the clipboard or whatever.
It is code 3. That they had mailed something in and it had been returned.
You got it right here.
Oh, this guy knows how to get things done.
So tell me what just happened.
He just got a call, and he was informed to treat people in Code 3 status as regular voters. I may now go vote.
That's great. And who ultimately do you think got that done?
You guys.
All right.
Undoubtedly.
All right.
Undoubtedly. Thank you.
And was this the same guy that just changed his attitude from before, or was this a new person?
This guy has been trying to help, but he's been very busy and his hands have been tied. And I don't know if he's been cloaking inaction in bureaucracy or genuinely trying to help. I can't make that assessment. But before he said you could just try calling and get hit a bunch of bureaucracy or a bunch of phone menus, and made it seem helpless. But so now I go in the line and see if the poll workers have been informed of that or not.
Yeah.
The next hurdle.
And what would you say to other people that might find themselves in a similar situation and being pressured into voting provisional?
Stand their ground and get help.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Where are